Did you know that Russia has secretly built an underwater surveillance network in the Arctic over a decade using $50 million worth of stolen Western technology, and that this system, called Harmony, can detect U.S. submarines hundreds of kilometers away? And that the U.S. Navy discovered this network while trying to track Russian nuclear submarines near Alaska, only to realize the Russians had been watching them the whole time? In this video, we reveal the shocking story of how Russia built the most advanced underwater sensor network in the Arctic using German sonar, British drones, and U.S. fiber-optic cables, and how this has completely changed the balance of power beneath the Arctic ice. On October 23, 2025, The Washington Post, in collaboration with international media outlets including Germany's Norddeutscher Rundfunk, France's Le Monde, Süddeutsche Zeitung, Britain's The Times, and others, published a devastating investigation that revealed one of the most significant military secrets of the past decade. Russia had built a massive underwater surveillance network in the Arctic called Harmony, using Western technology acquired illegally through shell companies. The investigation, the result of years of coordinated journalistic work known as the Russian Secrets Project, traced more than $50 million in purchases of Western underwater equipment between 2013 and 2023. The Harmony system combines underwater microphones, sonar arrays, fiber-optic cables, and communication antennas to monitor NATO submarine movements in the Barents Sea and beyond. According to documents reviewed by journalists, the purchases were primarily channeled through Mostrello Commercial Ltd, a Cyprus-registered company that acted as a front for UPT, a Moscow-based firm with historical ties to Russian security services. A German investigation from 2024 to 2025, assisted by a 2021 CIA report, concluded that Mostrello served as a front for Russian military acquisitions. The Western acquisitions included sonar systems and cables from the German manufacturer Norddeutsche Seekabelwerk, advanced seabed mapping sonars from Innomar GmbH, also of Germany, and underwater robots capable of operating at depths of 3,000 meters from Forum Energy Technologies in the UK. In 2015, Mostrello also acquired high-speed acoustic equipment from the Norwegian company Kongsberg Gruppen, according to transaction records reviewed by journalists. Let's pause here to invite you to like and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the video so far. One of the most revealing cases involved a manufacturer. An American company sold sonar systems to Mostrello under a contract partially written in Russian. The American company believed at the time that the equipment was intended for cable surveys in the Baltic, and claimed ignorance of the system's military purpose. This claim illustrates how Western companies were either exploited or willfully ignored obvious warning signs. Brian Clark, a former U.S. Navy officer and senior fellow at the Hudson Institute, stated, "This is Russia's effort to reduce the United States' ability to monitor areas around submarine bases and track their submarines from the point of deployment." The statement underscores the strategic gravity of the discovery. The Harmony network forms a semicircular detection barrier stretching from Murmansk to Franz Josef Land, creating an early warning zone for detecting NATO submarines operating near the most sensitive element of Russia's nuclear arsenal, its sea-based ballistic missile submarines. The system consists of seafloor sonar arrays, underwater drones, fiber-optic cables, and communication antennas distributed throughout the Russian Arctic. The investigation was able to trace the movements of ships purchased by Mostrello, helping to delineate the likely footprint of the Harmony system, spanning the Barents and Kara Seas and protecting Russia's Arctic nuclear submarine bases. Naval experts interviewed by the consortium describe Harmony as a major strategic upgrade, potentially comparable to the U.S. Cold War-era SOSUS system. The unveiling of the Harmony system came amid intense U.S. and NATO naval operations in the Arctic during August and September 2025. These operations provided the operational context that helped analysts understand the true extent of Russian capabilities under the ice. On September 1, 2025, U.S. and Norwegian naval forces conducted a joint patrol in the Barents Sea. The four-ship flotilla included the U.S. Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyers USS Mahan and USS Bainbridge, along with the Norwegian Fridtjof Nansen-class frigate HMS Thor Heyerdahl and the replenishment ship HMS Maud. The Arctic operation was part of a larger exercise in the Norwegian and Northern Seas involving the nuclear-powered aircraft carrier USS Gerald R. Ford and its strike group. NATO forces also conducted extensive aerial searches for 3 Russian Yasen-class attack submarines reported to be operating in the area near the Lofoten Islands in Norway. Photos released by the U.S. Navy showed the flotilla of 4 vessels just 1 mile offshore with a Royal Norwegian Air Force P-8 Poseidon surveillance aircraft and 2 F-35 fighter jets flying overhead. The ships are part of the fleet accompanying the USS Gerald R. Ford, the world's largest nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, which continued operating further south in the Norwegian and North Seas. Earlier that week, NATO allied forces responded to a potential threat to the Ford carrier group emanating from Russian submarines. A sortie by the 3 Yasen-class nuclear-powered attack submarines from their submarine base Zapadnaya Litsa near Murmansk triggered sustained efforts by maritime patrol aircraft from several Nordic countries. Reports indicated that P-8 Poseidon surveillance and anti-submarine warfare aircraft took off from bases in Norway, Iceland, and Scotland to locate and monitor the Russian forces. Flight logs showed several P-8s taking off from Lossiemouth, Scotland, and Reykjavik, Iceland, traveling to the waters near the Lofoten Islands, circling for hours before returning to their bases or landing in Norway. In total, various P-8 aircraft from the 3 countries completed 27 sorties searching for the submarines. Russian submarines are part of the country's northern fleet and are among its most modern and advanced assets. The Barents Observer, a Norwegian newspaper, reported that the 3 Yasen and Yasen-class multipurpose nuclear submarines belonging to the Russian Northern Fleet were at sea as of August 25. The Syeverodvinsk, the Kazan, and the Arkhangelsk, all based in Nurpika. Tom Sharp, a former commander in the British Royal Navy, told Britain's The Sun newspaper, "It looks like they found a Russian submarine and they're hammering it. It's saying to Russia, 'We see you.'" There was no indication that the operation by the U.S. Navy and its allies in the waters off Norway's west coast would end quickly. A U.S. Navy spokesman stated, "The U.S. Navy invests in collective defense with responsible regional partners to create conditions that minimize conflict and promote opportunities for peace and prosperity in the Euro-Atlantic." The spokesman did not mention anti-submarine sweeps for any specific vessel, but the operations detectable in aircraft and ship transmissions captured by marine traffic, Flight Radar 24, and similar platforms could be precautionary or signal an expected appearance of Russian submarines. This patrol off the North Cape marked the 3rd such operation in the past 5 years. The first operation occurred in 2020 when a combined force of 4 U.S. Navy and Royal Navy ships entered waters off the northern coast of Norway. Last year also saw 2 U.S. destroyers conducting operations near Russia's maritime border in the Barents Sea. The Harmony system represents a fundamental shift in the balance of submarine power in the Arctic. During the Cold War, the United States deployed its own SOSUS system, a massive network of underwater hydrophones stretching across the North Atlantic to detect Soviet submarines. Harmony is the modern Russian equivalent, but built with significantly different technology more advanced than anything that existed in the 1970s and 1980s. 4 ballistic missile submarines departing Gadzhievo or other Kola bases, the network provides early warning of pursuing adversaries, enabling lice runs, in which a commander deliberately crosses a known sensor to confirm whether a pursuer should also cross and be detected. Former U.S. Navy officials quoted by the Post argue that the system's purpose is to ensure that SSBNs can leave port unharassed and preserve second strike credibility even if land-based silos are compromised. In practice, this means safer bastion patrols, longer undetected transit windows, and greater confidence that a Boreai-class submarine can remain untracked once it reaches deeper Arctic sanctuaries. Russia currently operates at least 9 Boreai-class and Boreai-A-class submarines, with 4 more under construction or planned. These submarines form the core of Moscow's sea-based nuclear deterrent. The Boreai-A-class submarines are approximately 170 meters long, with a beam of 13 meters and a submerged displacement of around 24,000 tons. Each carries up to 16 Bulava intercontinental ballistic missiles with ranges exceeding 8,000 kilometers. These submarines are extremely quiet, operate at great depths, and are virtually undetectable once they reach deep waters beneath the Arctic ice cap. Harmony pushes the submarine balance back toward parity in the high north. For NATO, and especially the U.S. Navy, the Arctic had remained a theater where superior underwater stealth and tracking tactics could threaten Russian SSBNs close to home. A functioning Russian array on the seabed complicates those maneuvers, forcing Allied submarines to absorb a greater risk of detection when crossing into the stronghold and potentially diverting scarce ISR assets to counter-surveillance and array mapping. It is also pressuring Norway, the UK, and the US to accelerate seabed warfare capabilities, from unmanned neutralizers and acoustic deception to legal and diplomatic work tightening export controls on dual-use hydroacoustics. As the Post's investigation makes clear, Russia has turned Western technology into a shield for its most resilient member of the nuclear triad, raising the cost of Allied presence and eroding long-assumed advantages beneath the Arctic ice. The Arctic region, rich in untapped natural resources and opening up to new shipping routes due to climate change, has become a focal point of great power competition. By maintaining a credible and modern SSBN fleet capable of operating undetected in these waters, Russia maintains that it remains the dominant player in the militarization of the Arctic. Furthermore, in the the Pacific, the deployment of Boreai-A submarines to the Rybaki base on the Kamchatka Peninsula reinforces Russia's strategic presence near U.S. naval assets in the Asia-Pacific and strengthens its ability to project power along the Northern Sea route. The U.S. response has been multifaceted. The Navy re-established the Second Fleet in 2018 for operations on the East Coast and in the North Atlantic Ocean after the Yasen-class submarine Severodvinsk slipped into the Atlantic in 2018 and evaded detection for weeks. A powerful Russian submarine approaching U.S. shores undetected could be disastrous in a crisis between the two sides. General Glenn Van Herk, then head of U.S. Northern Command, warned in 2024 that Russia could deploy the Yasen-class to the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans and patrol off the U.S. coast persistently for the next 2 years. This prediction has become a reality with the Yasen-class submarines making regular transits under the Arctic ice between the Northern and Pacific fleets. And that concludes our analysis of Russia's Harmony underwater surveillance system and its implications for the balance of power in the Arctic. If you were shocked to discover how Russia built this secret network using stolen Western technology and want to stay informed about submarine warfare, Arctic competition, and the military secrets that define global security, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any content. See you in the next video where we'll continue unraveling the mysteries of underwater military power.